Hi lovers. Hi, how are you guys doing? Hilma Daniel here. Welcome to my channel. If you're joining us for the very first time, please do subscribe and watch the rest of the videos. There's quite a lot of videos on my channel name. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much for your continued support. I highly appreciate it. Well, guys, we are talking about being too dependent on your partner. We are talking about being too dependent on your partner, the risk of being too dependent on your partner. And I'm not going to make this very, very long. We are just going to, say the main point, straight to the point. There is a risk of being too dependent on your partner. Being too dependent on your partner gives your partner a room to treat you a certain way. That is, if your partner is not kind-hearted. We must not take it that we are not all gonna be the same. We are people that are selfless and that are kind and that are good to one another, and there are those ones that are not kind. For example, I'm gonna cheat on you and there's nothing you can do about it because you are dependent on me. I'm gonna go for days and come back whenever I feel like coming because you are way too dependent on me. Emotional abuse. I'm gonna talk to you anyhow. I'm gonna say any word I feel like saying to you because there's nothing you can do about it. You are way too dependent on me. It opens abuse. It opens abuse from the in-laws. It opens abuse from the in-laws, whereby people are talking to you anyhow because you are chowing their child's money. Where people are not going to respect you because you have no value. You don't offer anything. You don't bring anything to the table except yourself. It gives their friends some sort of to feel they can just talk to you anyhow because you are way too dependent on that person. So be independent. There is power in being independent. Okay. Another thing that I want to talk about is running errands. I picked up that when you are, more especially as women, there is a mistake that we do when we are married. You find a woman that can't even drive. There's a car in the house, but you cannot drive. Just because you are dependent on your husband to drive you. I think I saw a video one time of a man saying, I do not know what happens to women's hands when they get married. It's like they can drive themselves when they are not single, but when they get married, all of a sudden they can't even drive themselves. They can't even do anything. There are specific things that we just want men to do. Be independent. I've learned to do things myself the hard way. I remember there was a time that let me give you a little example. My license is automatic. I got it very quick, real fast. The last time I drove a manual car was in driving school. The rest of the cars that I've been driving are automatic. Even when I go to the village, there are automatic cars. So my mom is always saying, the problem with you people of nowadays, you don't like to drive manual cars. Sometimes you just want to go anywhere. I can literally give you my key and the car, and then you drive, and then you go wherever you want. But the problem with you people, you don't drive manual, And then my husband managed to get a car that is manual, I don't drive it all the time, but sometimes once in a while I drive that car, And there are moments where I'm like, I quickly need something, man. I need us to go somewhere. And it's like, I'm lazy. I'm not going anywhere. Wait. And that thing of wait, because you want to do something immediately so that you can come and do other things later, but he is unable to take you because the person is sleeping or busy with something else. Just that wait got me like, no, thank you. That is not how I'm designed. I want to do something, I want to do it now and finish. Him, he's like, no. He is the type of person that goes like, no, I want to do something with my time. So on that time, we normally don't come together because he wants to do it with his time. I want to do it now. So I was like, you need to take me for classes. It took me 2 days. I went, you show me how to drive one day, you show me how to drive the next day, and from there I can drive myself where I want to go. Rather than me saying, can you please take me? Can you please take me? I want to quickly go wherever, fast, and it's too far. I don't want to take a taxi. Can I please go? Or sometimes I just want to grab something here and I don't have money. And I'm like, I don't have too much money to waste if there's petrol. Can I just drive closer here and then come back, And then you cannot do it because you are unable to drive. Let me just give you that simple example. Let me tell you the danger of being too independent. 2 things. People die. I think the problem with us in this world is that we live life like we are here to stay forever. People die. And these are the topics that we are not prepared to talk about. We are not prepared to discuss death. But we need to learn to discuss death. It's not a taboo. We are all going to walk out of this world dead, one way or another. It's just a matter of time. We do not know when. We do not know how. We do not know when God is going to say, my child, come. But we are going to die. So your partner dies. And you are so much used to your partner doing everything for you. How are you going to survive? This thing of being too dependent on the next person, it does not make sense to me. Your partner dies, then what? You can't even drive yourself to go to the mall. You can't even drive yourself to go to church. You can't even, who is going to be driving you now that your partner is not there? And there's one thing about being too used to being in your own vehicle. I remember when I started taking taxis a year and something back, after a while of driving, the first how many days, it was like a little bit difficult because I got used to getting in the car and driving. But then I told myself, no, I'm doing this because there's something that I need to accomplish. And it was a little bit challenging, but I got used to it. So it might be difficult. And that me taking a taxi for my own reasons, when I know I can afford a car, have a car in the house I can drive, because then I had my car was still working. It got a problem later. But then I was like, I am going with a cab. I have options. And I felt like, no, it's in a way. How about when you are being forced? You are going to cry for your partner, like you are not even going to cry for your partner because your partner died. You're just going to cry for your partner because you now are facing reality. And the reality is you are way too much independent. You cannot be with a person and too dependent on a person as if that person is there to stay with you forever. We all live on a borrowed time. That person can leave you any day, any time. Be prepared to live comfortably, to live alone if that person is not there tomorrow. There is a danger in being way too dependent on your partner. That person just decides, you know what? This relationship of you and me is not working. And I got myself somebody else. Because you people, you people of nowadays, you don't respect until death do us apart. People don't even respect marriages. Marriages are treated like a joke nowadays. First of all, by people inside of it. They're giving people permission to the people outside to treat marriages like a joke. Their friends are getting involved to treat people like it's a joke. Their families are getting involved, treat people like it's a joke. So this union is just useless. It's just useless to a bunch of people. It's not even a good union anymore. People are cheating all they want. People are, it's not even a union that is respected anymore. People are doing so much. This union of two people only is no longer of two people. There are too many people involved. Either too many people involved sexually, two people involved verbally, two people involved way too much. Now, if you all just decide one day that, you know what, we are giving each other more problems than we are giving each other peace. These behaviors of ours, they are toxic to the children. The behavior of your partner or the behavior of you is becoming toxic for the children in the house. This is not healthy for the kids to see. We are going separate ways. What then happens? What then happens when you are alone, when you are too dependent on the next person? That is when we stay in relationships being abused, because we are way too dependent on people. You wouldn't want to be in a situation where somebody feels you are just there and you are like an object to them. Like you are just there. No, you want to be there knowing very well that, you know what, when we are coming together, we are just bringing peace, respect, love to one another. But the rest of the things, we are all independent. That is a good thing. Being too dependent on one another. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a very, very big problem. And also, I would tell you one thing. Being too dependent on one another can also come sexually. For as much as we are together here and we, are supposed to, there is power in waiting. When you're a child, in not getting involved in these things way too early. I think there's power in that. We might want to go into details in it one time, but when you know self-control, it makes it easier. Now imagine when you were a child, you did not learn self-control, to control yourself. Because there are those people that seem to just can't live without sex. A week passes by, 2 months passes by, what passes by, you want to go crazy. But what happens when your partner dies? When your partner dies, and the Bible says something about you as a widow, and you are not supposed to get yourself involved with the next person, for example, what happens then? And you are growing up and you want to go to heaven, what happens then when you do not have self-control? Let us not be too dependent on people. People die, things happen. Let us learn self-control and let us try to be independent of our partners. People die, people separate, people divorce. That is it from me, Hilma Daniel. Do comment down below what you think about this topic. What do you think about being too dependent on your partner? We are not saying don't love one another. Do love one another, but leave room that people die. People die. When your partner dies, how are you going to continue without them? When your partner divorces or just decides, you know what, I'm tired of you, what happens? Or are you going to cry yourself to death? Because we are not doing that, not in 2024. You have to pick yourself up and you have to keep going. How do you pick yourself up? It's going to be difficult when you are too dependent on the next person. It's very easier to say hello, you are going, bye. And your life continues as you are because you are not too dependent on the next person. There's a danger there. Be cautious about it. I'll see you guys in my next video. That's it from me, Hilma Daniel. Bye bye.